What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with the NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Sunday, February 5th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. 1, that's where you're going to get the updates to my Sims tonight as we get closer to lock. And 2, that's where I want you guys to hit me up with any questions. Find the thread with this video in it, and then just go ahead and ask. What do you like? What do you dislike? If you just want to tell me things about the slate, anything you want to know for today's slate, I'm your man on Twitter, again, at Josh Engleman. Finally, we're closing it out with BetMGM. They are the sponsor of this video. If you follow the link in the description, you can get up to one, not up to one, you get 1 free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. You also get up to $1,000 in first bet insurance. Now, rounding out the bottom of my top 10, we have Ja Morant, who is questionable, Trey Murphy, Julius Randle, Kevin Huerter, and CJ McCollum on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. In at number 5, we've got Fred VanVleet, point guard eligible, 8,400, projected for 45. The goal's 47, optimal lineup 25% of the time. He's been playing great as of late. We see when OG Anunoby is not on the floor, VanVleet gets a really nice usage bump. Don't know why that happens that way, but it just does. 1.18 fantasy points per minute in 38 minutes here for VanVleet. 26% usage, 23 real points, 7 assists, 5.5 boards, 2 stocks, in a great spot. Big time pace up matchup for Toronto. They gain 3 possessions over their average. Should be competitive. They might be without multiple starters. We know Adams isn't playing. We know Dylan Brooks isn't playing. Questionable tag on Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson. This is a great opportunity to attack Toronto. In at number 4, I'm going to Minnesota for Rudy Gobert, who is questionable, by the way. Center eligible, 6,800, projected for 38.5. The goal is just 39. He's in the optimal lineup 28% of the time. I think it's pretty easy for Rudy Gobert to get to 40 fantasy points, and if he does that, you can build a winning lineup with him. 33 minutes for Gobert, 1.15 fantasy points per minute in this spot. We've seen a very big rebounding bump in these games that he has started without Karl Anthony Towns. 17% usage for Gobert, 15.5 points, 13 rebounds, an assist, and 2 stocks. Clearly, a matchup against Nikola Jokic on the opposite side, which I think is fine. I mean, Gobert's just going to play drop coverage one way or the other. It's not like you could put Naz Reid out there and make things better defensively. So I think as long as Rudy Gobert is playing, you're getting big minutes. And at 6,800, I think he's slightly underpriced. If you're looking for value, I think my number 3 guy, John Conchar, is someone you should pay close attention to. Shooting guard, small forward eligibility. So you also get guard, forward, and utility. Again, 3,500, projected for 22. That's basically the goal. He's in the optimal lineup 28% of the time. Conchar played 28 minutes in his return a couple days ago. Now we've got all these Q tags. We've got Brooks out. I see no reason he's not going to play those 28 minutes again. And I think that he could play even more. I'm assuming he starts today. Now, it's 7 points on 11% usage, 6 boards, 2 assists, and a stock and a half. It's not the most illustrious stat line in the world, but if you need positional flexibility, if you're trying to pay up a little bit more for the day, guys like John Conchar make that a lot easier. This one's scary, but RJ Barrett in at number 2, small forward eligible, 6,400, projected for 36. The goal's 37. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. I have him in for 37 minutes. He could play upwards of 40. He could play as low as 30, depending on how this game breaks, but should be a relatively competitive matchup. It's in New York. He's a 0.95 fantasy point per minute guy. Small forward is a very tough position to fill. It's always easy to find point guards. It's very easy to find centers, whether pay down or pay up. But small forward starts to get a little dicey, so I'm going to bet on the minutes here. 22 points for Barrett, 6 boards, almost 3 assists, and maybe a stock. You don't get a lot of those defensive stats, but this is just, I think, the best way that you could fill out small forward on DraftKings for tonight. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. So you can follow me on Twitter, at Josh Engleman. That is where you get the updates to my Sims, and that's where I want all of your questions. So make sure you're hitting me up there. Finally, BetMGM, a month of Stokastic Plus Platinum, $1,000 in first bet insurance, so long as you use this link in the description. The number 1 contender for today is Brandon Ingram. Shooting guard eligible, 7,100, projected for 42. I think you only need to get 40 at this salary, and he's in the optimal lineup 33% of the time. Guy's playing pretty well since he's been back. I got him at 1.28 fantasy points per minute in 33 minutes here. It's a pace-up spot against Sacramento. The Kings defense is not very good. 31% usage for Brandon Ingram. We don't have Zion in this one. 23 real points, 6 boards, 5 assists, a little over a stock. He's just not priced correctly for his role with no Zion and the fact that he's back to just playing normal starter minutes. You could see 35 or 36 in this spot. Now, it isn't back-to-back. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Brandon Ingram isn't playing, but for right now, assuming that he is in, he is my favorite guy on DK. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Sunday, February 5th. FanDuel version of this video is around here somewhere, so check it out. Good luck tonight, everybody. Win some money. We are back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.